Welcome back to episode 152 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. I'm
Don't
sure
sound so doom and gloom, man. Get fucking into it.
I am gonna get into it right now. Believe me, I will. But
Let's
I
go.
wanna I wanna jump up and down this room right now. But if you, in case you haven't heard the news, let me be the first to remind you or tell you for the first time. You're back to back defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Fucking A, man. This team did it again. And this time in improbable fashion. I'll tell you one thing, man. When Freddie Freeman, and I hate to bring this up to Kyle right now. I'm not throwing anything at him. I'm just trying to refresh everybody's memory here. When Freddie Freeman hit the walk-off home run last year at Dodger Stadium to win game 1 of the World Series, I thought that no moment in my lifetime would be bigger than that. Like, how can you top that? A walk off to win the World Series game 1 of the World Series. I think this Dodger team did that in Game 7 of the World Series. Miguel Rojas, Will Smith, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think they topped it. I'm really mean it. Before we get into everything, and if you're a Dodger hater like a lot of you were during this series, and you will hear about it as we go along here. So before we get into everything, and before I go on my freaking rant here and spiel, Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'll keep it short and sweet for you because this episode is going to be all mellow. But no, I'm doing good, man. Business as usual. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much else for me to say. I'm doing pretty good. Um, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna try to ask you how you're doing because I can tell you're doing extremely well. But I will say this before we get into it. I am so glad that we have a whole year of not hearing about the Yankees losing in the World Series. I am so happy about it. It is now on the Toronto Blue Jays, and that, my friend, I am extremely happy about. But I will say I'm very happy for you, Melo. Unlike most people, they're probably not going to say that,
Fuck them.
but
That's what I have to say.
I'm very happy for you. I'm glad you get to experience what this is like. I mean, I don't know, but I can only imagine it feels pretty good. So the floor is yours, man. You can open up however you would like.
I'll double down on what you just said. The Blue Jays had a bigger meltdown than the Yankees did last year. How
Fuck
does
them.
that how does that
Fuck
sound?
them.
There
Oh,
you
it sounds
go.
pretty damn good. I love
There
it.
you go. There you go. What the Yankees did last year wasn't as bad as what happened to the Blue Jays in game 6 and 7. Um I am doing amazing right now. I I honestly, I think I'm just more in shock that they actually won that game 7 Saturday night. And I just, God, there's so many ways that I could start here. Um, I'll start with this just to get them out of the way. Because I mean, I am a horrible human being. I know that, but um, I do want to tip my hat. I'm not gonna physically do it because I have headphones on and stuff. But I tip my hat to the Toronto Blue Jays. They played a tremendous series. Um, at times, and really for the first 5 games of the series, I'm not gonna bullshit anybody. They were the better team. I'm not gonna not gonna say they weren't. They I mentioned this. They pushed us obviously to 7 games, and they pushed us all the way to the end. And hats off to them. I said this to a lot of my friends and a lot of my family. I have been so fortunate to see my Dodger team win a world championship 3 times in my lifetime. And believe me, when I say fortunate, I mean it. I understand there is a lot of baseball fans out there that either haven't seen their team win ever in their lifetime or they haven't seen their team win it all ever. I understand
16
that.
years. 16 years.
I get all that. So I really mean when I say that I'm fortunate. This World Series win for the Dodgers in 2025, easy, easily the hardest out of the three. It was harder than 2020, and it was harder than last year. Um, Down 3-2. They lost two games at home, and again, Kyle, I've said it to you 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it again. No woman can replicate how I felt Saturday night. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I again, the Dodgers keep raising the bar, which is a bad thing for my future wife because she's gonna have to do a lot here. My I just watched my team cement itself as a dynasty, 3 championships in 6 years. I mean, it's unbelievable. Um, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, there was points, and you can probably go find them on these other episodes on YouTube or wherever podcasts, Apple or Spotify. There was a lot of times during the season where I was very down on this team. I was very down on this team. I made a Think Blue episode in September saying that their season was over, that they were not going anywhere this season. Now I'm so glad I was wrong. And for you Dodger fans that are gonna say, "Oh well, why are you celebrating for?" Fuck you. You were saying the same shit as I was. Fuck you. Um, we were all saying the same thing. Um, just unbelievable, man. I can't believe it. This team did it again. The first time this century a baseball team has repeated as champions. And there's there's a lot of people, and you know who you are, that were trying to like tell me how I should feel after the Dodgers won a championship Saturday night. How are you gonna tell me how to feel? You can go fuck yourself. Like honestly, like I'm jumping up and down. I'm excited. I was in tears. I don't know if you saw that. Now I stopped that video Saturday night for a reason because I was fucking bawling my eyes out. And I didn't. I had there's a line that I have, believe it or not, and I don't think people need to see me crying on camera for 20 seconds. That I don't want to do that. But just the ignorance of some of these people to tell me, well, they spent $1 billion. How could you celebrate that? How am I supposed to celebrate? Like my team is the model franchise in this sport and really for all pro major sports. They put a good product on the field by spending money on the facility. They just fucking upgraded. They just redid both clubhouses at Dodger Stadium last off season. They gave Shohei Ohtani a room to fucking take a nap. That's how much this Dodger front office, this Dodger ownership cares about its players. It's not all about spending money on the roster. Tell me how much Miguel Rojas was making this season. Wasn't making much, and he hit a big home run that saved this Dodgers season. Will Smith, who believe me, he has a nice contract, 10 years, I think it's 140. He's underpaid. He is underpaid. The Dodgers extended him before the beginning of last season. That's a bargain right now. He is worth way more than what he is getting paid. Bargain for the Dodgers. Just the ignorance and just how are you gonna tell me how I should feel? Like that's just stupid. That's just plain stupid. So right here to everybody who tells me, oh, well, how could you be so happy they spent $1 billion? That sounds like loser talk to me, dude. Like that seriously. And the Dodgers, for all my life, were the butt of every fucking joke about the postseason. Oh well, Dodgers are gonna lose in the first round anyways. Oh, they just choke every year. Doesn't matter how much they spend. It's amazing how quickly everything changed, right? And even go back to this series. After game one, it was like, oh well, see the mighty Dodgers. Oh, all this money, they're just gonna lose to the Blue Jays. And then after game three, oh, they're ruining baseball again. Oh, Dodgers are bad for baseball. And then they lose 2 out of 3 at home. Blue Jays take a 3-2 lead, and everybody was back to, oh, they're gonna choke again, just like they always do. You know, And then immediately once that final out was recorded by a beautiful double play by Mookie Betts, um, oh, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. They're bad for the sport. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the lockout in 2027. I will enjoy the lockout in 2027 because I got to see my team win 3 championships in 6 years. I'm fine. I'm good. You know, I don't need this. Like we could take a year off after next season. I'll be okay. I've seen my team win. We're good. Like we don't have to play in 2027. We've got our championships. We've got this. We've got this. I'm fine. You know, and the Dodgers are going to put themselves in a position to win it all again next year, which I'm not ready to talk 3P yet. I know a lot of the Dodger players said that yesterday at their parade. I'm not ready for that yet. I just want to enjoy this at least until the end of the month, or maybe, until the first big free agent comes off the board here in a couple weeks. But, um, everybody, and man, like, there was so many people that wanted to see this team lose, and specifically me. And I'm not making this all about myself. I'm just another one of the 10 billion Dodger fans in this world. I'm not making this about me. I'm really not. But man, there was a lot of our followers that were hoping that we would lose Saturday night. And I'm so glad this Dodger team was able to shut them up for another offseason. And man, was I going through all the Twitter, all the Dodger fans are going through all the Twitter receipts and stuff. I saw a bunch of them from a couple, a lot of dumb fuck Angel fans saying, "Oh, we went 6-0. Who runs LA now?" Ah, well, we know that was your World Series. Logan O'Hoppe said it, not me. He couldn't sleep after that. So, um, I'm just super proud of this team. It's just think about how crazy this is. The Dodgers won this series by hitting as a team collectively 209, and they won this World Series this year with the shitty ass bullpen all season. Tanner Scott making has a 4-year $72 million deal. Did not throw one ball this postseason. Kirby Yates sucked. Did not not throw one pitch this postseason. Just, can you imagine if this Dodger team, if and I think they're gonna essentially, it's gonna be the same team next year. Let's see what happens in the outfield. Maybe the Dodgers try to shop around Teoscar. I don't know. I don't think they will, but it's definitely on the table. But can you imagine if this Dodger team gets into the postseason next year and their offense fires on all cylinders again? They couldn't beat us when we were hitting 200. What's going to happen when this team hits 250, 240? I don't know. But what this Dodger team was able to do this season, historic. I am so proud of this team. And sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make. Andrew Freeman, Brandon Gomes didn't go for the big fish at the deadline. The Padres went after Mason Miller. The Phillies got Duran at the deadline. Dodgers didn't do that. They're like, you know what? We feel we have enough. Now, of course, at the time, I didn't agree with it. I'm like, we got to get another bullpen piece here and maybe another bat. But, you know, Phillies and Padres, you can have your we won the trade deadline banner. That's fine. We won the whole thing. We won the thing that actually matters. But um, again, I'm super proud of this team. Mookie Betts, 4-time champion, and I mentioned this to you last October, and now we can have the conversation. Freddie Freeman has won 2 World Series championships with the Dodgers after playing 12 seasons in Atlanta and winning a championship. Don't be surprised if you see him going in the Hall of Fame with that beautiful Dodger blue hat on, baby. I'm just saying, I know that's going to piss off a lot of Braves fans, but hey, we're winning over here, man. It's just Shohei Ohtani, um, year 2, number 2 championship, and Shohei had a big part in it. Not that he didn't last year, but you saw both sides of him at the plate. Um, just incredible, man. And how could I not mention Yoshinobu Yamamoto, your World Series unanimous MVP? And I'm putting it on record now here. because I wouldn't get into my own word last year, and I told you my next jersey, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and I'm gonna get it in this beautiful, beautiful gold jersey that the Dodgers will be wearing again next opening day against the Arizona Diamondbacks when they're getting their rings and they're getting the banner. So I will be getting another one of these with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on it. So fantastic. I can't wait. But this team, man, they put it together, and I'm never gonna make that mistake again. The Dodgers have showed this regular season that it doesn't mean shit. Just get in and play, just get in and have all your ducks in a row for an October run. And they did that again this season. And I had to hear it all again. We're going to lose to the Phillies. We're going to lose to the Brewers. We're going to lose to the Blue Jays. Didn't happen. So, um, back to back, I can't believe it, man. And I mentioned this in the article that I wrote, which you can find on aroundthediamondmedia.com. If this is a dream, I don't want to wake up, because this is fantastic, man. And there's one person in particular that I'm so happy for, Clayton Kershaw, and I got very emotional after the game Saturday and at the parade yesterday because I thought of him immediately. It's like Clayton Kershaw was the butt of every postseason joke thrown at him for years, and for him to have that moment yesterday at Dodger Stadium one final time and to contribute this year. It's not like Clayton Kershaw just didn't do anything. Like, he was at many points this season when the Dodger rotation was in shambles. Snell, Glass on the injured list. You know, guys up and down. Clayton Kershaw was there making starts, man, and he was 9-2 this season, I believe, and he had a big big out in Game Three of this series, with the bases loaded and with 2 outs in the 10th inning in Game Three. So Clayton Kershaw saved our ass and saved this season in Game Three, and he will never be forgotten. And I can't believe they did this. And what are they gonna say now? What are they gonna say now? We're not choking anymore. Now they're just gonna say they're ruining baseball. And honestly, if you think we are, you're full of shit. Honestly, you just don't know ball, and you're just this hatred that you have towards my team. It's getting in the way of your rational thinking of this sport. There was 30 million fucking people that watched the World Series Saturday night on Fox here in America. And you have the audacity to tell me that the Dodgers are bad for this sport. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. But congratulations once again, man. It was an unbelievable season, a very up and down season, but this team put it together when it mattered most. Road Warriors, 6-1 this postseason on the road. Their only loss on the road was in Game One when they got their doors blown off of them. And there was a lot of Blue Jays fans, and I have the video and I have the receipts on our Instagram page of my reaction. There was a lot of Blue Jays fans that were very cocky after Game One, very cocky. But when it was all said and done, the Dodgers came back out on top. And last year, and I'll leave you with this, last year, the song Not Like Us was played all throughout Dodger Stadium, throughout that postseason run and at the parade and the celebration last year. It played again this year. However, they're still not like us. Back to back world champions, baby. Unbelievable. Ninth time in their franchise's history, their eighth world championship here in Los Angeles. Incredible, man. What a ride. And I'm just so lucky that I got to be a part of it and see some of those games at Dodger Stadium this October. Incredible.
Yeah, man. Well said. And there's not much more I can say to piggyback off of what you said. But I'll leave you with this. I mean, I think
Embrace it. Don't run from it. Embrace it. We're the
it's
villains of this sport, and you know what? I'm completely okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. Embrace it.
It still makes sense from the first time that I saw you wear that. But um yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of recap the World Series as I saw it, you know. Um I said it to you when we were going over every single the division series, the wild card series, the championship series, and then finally the World Series. I you know, this Dodger team is just too good, man. They're too good, and there's not many teams that, I mean, honestly, like, no matter who the Dodgers go up against, you like the Dodgers' chances. Yeah, maybe the Blue Jays or the Phillies or the Brewers can squeak a game here and there, but when it truly does come down to it, there's not a better team in the sport than the Dodgers. And I'm an outsider, so I'm not gonna be glazing this team as much as Melo, and that's expected, you know. But for me, just the outside looking in, this is the franchise that you want to try to like model, like you said earlier, and you want to try to build your team like they are, right? And I've been hearing, I mean, this conversation's been going on since last spring training, when we were all together down there in Tampa. The next lockout is going to be surrounded by the salary cap. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are going to face a lockout. That is almost inevitable at this point. Um, but when it comes down to it, me and you have the same opinion on this. I don't think the Dodgers are ruining baseball. What I think they're doing is they are doing what they're supposed to. This is what every single team is supposed to do. And I don't want to hear any fan crying and saying we can't do what the Dodgers are doing. Your your team can, but your owner chooses not to, and that's not our fault. You know, I mean, my Yankees, as much as I shit on them every single year, they are putting a winning product on the field each and every single year. And it's funny because Brian Cashman was asked today if there was ever a chance of a rebuild with the Yankees, and he said absolutely not. He said we're going to start working on this immediately. That's the kind of mentality you want. Now, do I agree with everything Brian Cashman and the Yankees do? Hell no, but I like the mentality. That's what every club needs to have. And that's what the Dodgers have. And that's what they've been doing over the last, I don't know, I'd say 3 to 4 years. You kind of, this has built up and started coming. And you know, Shohei Otani's his free agency and things like that. Um, I just truly like this whole World Series. It really showed me that, you know, the Dodgers are just, they're in a different level, man, than any other team in the sport. They really are. And unless there's other teams who are willing to do what the Dodgers are doing, there's not much else you can do, and you just kind of have to take it as it is, you know. And the Dodgers are going to keep doing what they're doing, and that's what they showed, man. And that's why I could not bet against this team any, you know, and at any series of the postseason. You just don't bet against a team like this. And again, they proved it. And I kind of like how you brought up Miguel Rojas, right? So in a situation like that, it's deeper than just putting $1 billion team on the field, right? Miguel Rojas loves playing for the Dodgers. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He, and like you said, he's not making near as much as the other guys, but the Dodgers take care of their players so much and they build a culture that creates this mentality. And that's what Miguel Rojas had. I mean, he immediately went up to the plate, and you would have thought that, you know, he was making 70 million a year just with the way that his mentality was. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what the Dodgers have built in Los Angeles. And that's something that every other club needs to do to be able to compete with the Dodgers. But if you have an owner who really doesn't give a shit. I mean, look down in Miami, dude, in the Marlins. I mean, there's no culture there. There's no nothing. And a lot of teams don't have that. The Dodgers have really set themselves apart. And unfortunately, the Dodgers have geared us up for a lockout. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing towards the Dodgers. I'm not, because I agree with what the Dodgers are doing. But unfortunately, there's not enough owners in the sport who feel the same way as the Dodgers do, and that's what's killing the game. Not the fact that the Dodgers are putting a winning product on the field each and every single day. What's killing the game is the fact that these other owners, and may I add, billionaires with a B, they can more than afford to pay all of this salary and everything that the Dodgers are doing. Okay, not trying to get off topic here, but look at what the Dodgers have done, okay? Look at Shohei Otani. Shohei Otani has this massive contract, right? And everybody was like, oh, well, you know, we can't do that, this, that, and the other. Look at the publicity that this man has brought to Los Angeles. This contract is already paid off. The full contract is already paid off with the amount of sponsors and advertisements and everything else that Shohei Ohtani has brought to the Dodgers. The contract's paid. I don't think people really understand that. If you have these big players, I mean, look at Aaron Judge. It's the same thing with us with the Yankees. Aaron Judge brings in so much revenue himself that he pays for his contract plus another. And
They
it's
have
the
a
exact
burger
same
named
thing.
after.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's the exact same thing Shohei Ohtani did. Shohei Ohtani brought more money to the Dodgers than they knew what to do with. But they did know what to do with it because they put all that money back into the team, which is what you're supposed to do. That's what kind of irritates me about all this Dodger shit talk. Listen, am I happy that I put this in a comment the other day? Am I happy that the Dodgers won? Not really. It doesn't affect me, right? I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm happy for you. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I don't really care that the Dodgers won. But what I do care about is the fact that it's not the Dodgers' fault. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to really plead with you guys. Right? It's not the Dodgers' fault that the Kansas City Royals are in the World Series. It's not the Dodgers' fault that the Boston Red Sox lost, or the Yankees, or any other team, the Texas Rangers. I don't care. You can pick any of the other 29 teams, and it's not the Dodgers' fault. You know whose fault it is? It's your owners. And that's who you need to keep it up with, not the Dodgers. And that's what pisses me off, right? I'm not happy that the Dodgers won, but I'm also not mad that the Dodgers won. I'm partial to it. It's whatever to me. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing it how it is. And it's the fact that the Dodgers care about their team enough to put a winning product on the field every single year. And it's not that hard to do. It's really not. Build a culture, right? You build a culture in your franchise, and you just take it and you run with it. And the players will come. That's just it's back to Field of Dreams, man. If you build it, they'll come, and that's exactly what the Dodgers did. So that's my kind of recap on the World Series. Congrats to the Dodgers, man, back-to-back champs. I mean, there's not really much more you can say. I mean, they played a damn good year. I mean, I'm sorry, a damn good World Series, and they had a damn good year. Um, and with that being said, I mean, I don't really have anything else on the Dodgers. I'll let you kind of close this out before we move on, or if you want to keep going, we can keep going. I'm a little jittery right now, man, because this got me a little heated. So yeah, we can go whichever direction you want. But congrats to the Dodgers, man. I mean, they played a damn good series, and this is the model franchise, dude.
Fucking right, it is your newest dynasty in this sport. Um, you mentioned a second ago, if you build it, they will come. Well, I've been coming a lot the last 2 years.
All right.
No, that was no good. All right, well, I
No, it was
tried it.
good. No, it was
Thank
good.
you,
I
thank you,
like it.
thank you.
I don't know if YouTube
Um,
monetization would like it, but
yeah, probably not, but who cares? Who cares? They
this is
let
a
a
fun
lot of worse
episode.
shit. They let a lot of worse shit on this app than that sentence I just shared with you.
Hey,
Um,
it's all good, man. This is a fun episode. This is where
yes,
we.
it is.
This is the one. This is the one time a year. This opening day, and I'd say the All Star break is where we kind of let loose and we have a little fun, and that's kind of what I want to do here. I mean, we're talking baseball, and this is the way the
Coming.
sport has us. Absolutely, damn right. Congrats to you, Mel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, it. So I guess I'll share this with you here. Um, so you know that those reaction videos that I do.
Absolutely.
I had. I almost feel shitty for admitting this, but um, and believe me, that's my when I do the reactions, that's my real authentic reaction. I'm not faking that.
Yeah.
I am not faking that. I'm not just like, all right, let me rewind it and then give my like. No, I'm not doing that. That's my real live reaction. Had they lost Saturday, I had the reaction ready. I had the idea of what my reaction was gonna be. I was
Hmm.
gonna be lying. I was gonna be sitting on my bed, watching the final out, and I was gonna have the Dean Martin song for the good times in the background. That was going to be um that was gonna be the background music as the final out was being recorded. So thankfully, I did not have to do that. And I was gonna do that last year too, if the Dodgers would have lost. But um, I was actually getting ready to get in that position. I wasn't. I wasn't fully sitting on the bed yet. I was like on the edge of my bed. I was gonna sit all the way back on the wall. I wasn't
Yeah.
ready to sit all the way back yet. And Miguel Rojas hit the home run, which first of all, I was upset I didn't have my reaction for that. But um, out of all the people, man, Miguel Rojas popping one on a 3-2 pitch. Dude, it's so many. It's so crazy. And I'm getting more like in the weaves of the actual games and stuff. There was like five different times, like five or six, seven different times where, um, if something goes the other way, the Dodgers lose. The Dodgers
Yeah.
lose. If Rojas doesn't, if he strikes out, I don't know
Andy
what
Paz,
Andy Pajes exactly. If what if Dave Roberts which Dave Roberts had a hell of a series too, by the way.
he
Um,
did.
Imagine if he kept Edmund in there. I don't think he gets to that ball with a bad ankle and everything. Miguel Rojas making an incredible defensive play. Will Smith being able to get his foot back on the plate. I was gonna be so upset if the World Series would have ended on a replay review like that, and
Yeah.
not because it's replay. Like if the call's wrong, the call is wrong, and I hope they would fix it. But
Yeah.
just the way that ninth inning went, and I'm gotta be honest with you, I didn't say it to anybody, but in my mind, once Rojas hit the home run, I'm like, they're gonna fucking win this thing again, man. Like they're gonna figure out a way to get this win. Like, and I went on the PSP podcast in Toronto, which he reached out to me yesterday, but I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from him after Saturday. So um um I told him in that episode that if you're gonna kill this Dodger team, you better do it in Game 6. Because I'm telling you, man, like I didn't I didn't go out there and say, oh well, if you beat Game 6, Dodgers are guaranteed to win Game 7. Like that's not what I was saying at all. It was just like this Dodger team is too experienced. Like they've been in these situations so many times
Yeah.
that it's like if you just give them an inch, they're gonna take the whole freaking yard or whatever the saying is. And you saw that in Game 7, and I am so glad that the Bo Bichette home run didn't mean shit in is not going to mean anything in history of baseball because it was off of Shohei Ohtani. There was that famous picture of both of them looking at the ball. Same thing with Vladdy in Game 4. I did not want Shohei to be the reason why, because that's all everybody was going to talk about. If the Blue Jays would have won that game, oh Shohei, you know, postseason choker. He when when it was Game 7 and you had to have it, he sucked. But I'm so glad that didn't mean anything. Um, and yeah, just like I said, there was so many different plays, and even in Game 6, that whole ninth inning, with the ball getting wedged in the outfield.
Hmm.
Like if that goes off the wall, a run scores and it's 3-2, and who knows what happens after that. But
Yeah.
something was in the air, man. Something was in the air in Toronto for 2 games, and I'm so glad the Dodgers were the reason why. Where was the reason um, they were able to come out on top. But um, I'm just still in shock. I'm gonna be honest with you, but um, great World Series. I would have said that even if the Dodgers would have lost in Game 7. Like
Yeah.
it was a great World Series. Only the home team only won 2 games this whole series. Toronto won Game 1, and then the Freddie Freeman heroics in Game 3 in the 18 innings.
Hmm.
Um, all the road teams won everything else though, which is crazy. But um, I gotta ask you, was this the greatest World Series of all time? Because I can't you can't ask me because I'm gonna be a little biased because my team won, and they had a great comeback. In Game 7, down to their last 2 outs to win. To force extra innings, and then I I have the reaction video of it too. I just didn't post it. I have the reaction of Vladdy. I thought Vladdy fucking ended it in the bottom of the ninth inning. I was gonna be, oh my god, after all that, Vladdy's gonna pip one out of here to dead center, and that's our season. But is this the
That's
greatest World Series of all time? Because that was kicked around a lot after Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, for sure, and I do think it's up there. I would I'd have to do a little bit of research, just because I'm, on the spot like that. That's kind of, it's a loaded question, but I will say this, I definitely think it's up there. And second, I think it's the best World Series of our lifetime. I'll say that. I'm 25, so up until 2000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. For everybody who didn't know, I'll say our lifetime. You're younger than me, so I think whatever. But in the last 25 years, yeah, for sure. I'll say that. Obviously, '04 is up there for the Red Sox. I'll be a little bit
2011
biased. Yeah, 2011 was pretty good.
Cardinals Rangers. 2014 was good.
2016 with the Cubs.
2016, yeah.
You know, I will say it's the greatest World Series of my lifetime. And I would definitely think that it's up there in all time, man. Yeah, for sure. It was a blast to watch this World Series. Sucked my team wasn't in it, but as a
Wasn't fun
baseball
for
fan,
me. Well,
no.
it was fun, but
Yeah.
it was fun in terms. It was just the stress of everything. That's all it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, man. As a baseball fan, what more could you ask for? Truly, I mean, whether it's win or lose, or you're an outsider, or you're a fan of
The
one of the
Dodgers
teams,
losing. That's probably what a lot of people were asking for Saturday.
to me, man, I was hoping for some good baseball to end my season and to be able to just take that and then kind of not miss the sport as much, I would say. But because this off season's long for all of us, especially us, man, and like creators and people who like do things within the sport of baseball, it's a long off season for us. But I got what I wanted out of it, which was a damn good World Series. And I didn't care who won or lost. Obviously, I was going for the Dodgers because I'm never going to root for the Blue Jays. But yeah, no. To answer your question, it's definitely up there, and I'll definitely say that it's the greatest. It's the greatest World Series of our lifetime. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it's hard to ask me because I'm gonna be biased. Oh yeah, of course, Game Seven, greatest ever. But I understand, I'm a baseball historian too, and I love talking about the history of the game. And yeah, it's definitely up there. With all right, well, let me piss off the Giants fans now. Um, Yoshinobu Yamamoto's World Series performance was better than Madison Bumgarner in
Ooh,
2014. How about that for a headline right there? How about that one?
there we go.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto 3-0 this World Series. Um, After throwing, and this I think is going to get lost in history too. Not only did Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitch Game 6 through 96 pitches, pitched 6 innings, came out the next night on zero rest and pitched 2 2/3 of an inning and getting two big outs in that ninth inning. With the ground ball to Rojas and Pajes making the great catch in center field. He, after throwing a complete game in game two against a very high powered Blue Jays offense, I don't want that to get lost in history. This Blue Jays team was a pain in the ass to watch all series because it felt like every time Ernie Clement, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette on one leg, George Springer, it felt like every time there was traffic on the bases every inning in this series with the Blue Jays. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was ready to come in to pitch out of the bullpen in Game 3 had Freddie Freeman not hit the home run in the bottom of the 18th inning. I don't want that to get lost in history. I think it will a little bit. I think just because of everything else that happened in this series. But I think, and I know people are going to be like, "Oh, well, you're a Dodger fan. Of course you feel like that." I mean, come on. Like I think Yoshinobu Yamamoto's World Series performance was better than Bumgarner's because because Bumgarner was the gold standard, right? Like every time you would talk about like a starting pitcher coming into relief, everybody would always go back to Madison Bumgarner. Oh, Madison Bumgarner heroics in 2014, pitching a shutout in Game 5, and then coming back and pitching a relief in Game 7. I think Yamamoto topped that. I really believe that. I know Giants fans are gonna like to hear it, but too bad. You know, Here's another one too. The Dodgers' 3 championships they won were more impressive than the 3 championships the Giants won last decade. How about that for a fucking headline? 3 out of 6 years and back to back in there. Fuck your even years championships. My team got 2 straight seasons. How about that?
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Yeah, man. I mean, this World Series was definitely one for the ages. It's one that we're always gonna remember. We're always going to go back to just the historic part of it. I think this World Series means a little bit more just because it's back to back. Obviously, um when it comes to talking about World Series, the Yankees in the 90s is always brought up, and then obviously now it's going to be the Dodgers too, in 24 and 25. And I'll leave you with this, just to cap out this World Series talk, for me at least. Looking at the way this World Series went, this Dodger team, just to really put into perspective how good this team truly is, in the sport of baseball, okay, we once we reach October, we know that anything can happen, right? That's the one thing that we've said year after year, ever since becoming creators, and even before that, man. When you reach October, anything can truly happen. Look at the Nationals in 19. So forth. And there's so many examples. But I will say the one team in recent memory that I can say for a fact that no matter what's going to happen, they're always going to be there in the end. And that's the Dodgers over the last few years. It's hard to bet against them. It truly, really is. And that's why, like, for me, like, there's no way I could have bet against them this postseason. And also looking at like game 7, in particular, just because there were so many like dramatic moments going back and forth, things like that. To me, it just feels like no matter who's at the plate, no matter who is coming in relief, no matter who is starting the game, the Dodgers have a chance to win with no matter who is in the position that needs to be in. None. And no matter what, like yeah, and you talked about like the Blue Jays with Ernie Clement and Nathan Lucas and guys like that. And no disrespect to them. But that the Dodgers have that 1 through 9 in the rotation, 1 through 5 in the bullpen, and even though their bullpen was a little shaky, to me, like no matter what happens, the Dodgers just have that edge at all given moments in the postseason, and no matter what, and that's what makes a great team, and that's exactly what the Dodgers are. So, 2025 was a hell of a year for baseball, and this World Series just capped it off. Truly, it did. It was a hell of a year, and we'll see. But that's kind of like my closing thoughts. As soon as for me personally, as soon as Andy Pajes caught that ball, that was it for me. I was like, the Dodgers got it. Now, obviously, for you, it was probably totally different, just because you're a fan of the team, things like that. But for me, I went upstairs to bed after Andy Pajes caught that ball. That's how confident I was. I was just like, it's a wrap. It's over. So for me, it was always the Dodgers. The Dodgers were going to be there, and I was very vocal about that. Um, so that's my closing thoughts on the 2025 baseball season.
Yeah, it was a great baseball season. It started for me in Arizona with the World Baseball Classic qualifiers, but for it to end in Toronto again and to be world champs, unbelievable, and I can't believe it. And yeah, now we get into the off season. But before we jump into that, real quick, first I want to shout out Dodgers legend now, Miguel Rojas, and Dodgers legend Will Klein. Pitched his ass off in Game 3, fantastic. The reasons why we were still standing in Game 7, um, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't do this. I did this after every postseason round. I have to do it again. I have some goodies here. I have some goodies here from the World Series. How about it? So here we go. So I have all the rally towels here. This was Game 3. Let's see. This was this was game three. Says let's go Dodgers. It's all right. Nothing crazy. I like it. This was my favorite one out of the all the rally towels that the Dodgers gave out this October, and I think a lot of people liked it, including a lot of the girls are in my DMs saying, "Oh, can you get me one?" I'll see what I could do, sweetheart. But um, this one, the one that it said "Viva los Dodgers." I like this one with the old English and stuff. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then this one, Game Five, I wasn't big on, but oh well. It said I wasn't big on this one, but whoops. It said it's time for Dodger baseball. Not big on it, but so those are the rally towels. I got some goodies. I got a pin. I got a World Series pin. That was very nice. I got the team. I got the one with the two teams. That was nice. I had that. Uh, and then I got this one yesterday, which this was a pain in the ass to get in because the lines were long. I had to wait like a half hour for this. Like, and I can only get one, but it was nice. It was only get one, but it was nice. And then I got this beautiful baseball too. So with the logo on it, you got the gold logos on it. So very nice. But yeah, I just had to show off some of that stuff. It was not cheap. I told Kyle how much all this stuff was before we hopped on here. I'm not gonna say it, but it wasn't cheap. Let's put it that way, including this too. You know, the stuff the price of apparel is going up and up, and the are getting worse. That's a
Yeah,
problem. That's a
huge problem.
problem. This stuff is not cheap, and the design looks like shit.
Why do you think half? I mean, this is kind of like a little bit off topic, but why do you think half of my closet is old T-shirts from the '90s that I bought on eBay? Honestly, I mean, it's those '90s to early 2000s designs were top tier. They were amazing. There's really no coming back from that. I will say though, the logo of the World Series this year kind of brought me back to that a little bit, but but yeah, no, it's kind of ridiculous to be quite honest with you.
Absolutely. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that's it with this World Series. It was a great year, obviously, because my team won. If my team didn't win, if the Dodgers would have lost Game 7, I would have came on here. It was an awful season. What a waste! I can't believe I fell for that again. But luckily, I don't have to. Can't believe we don't have to do that. But that's a conversation for another day. But
Absolutely.
we have an off season, which honestly I'm not ready for, because I'm still off this high of this World Series win, and there's a lot of players that have been making their decisions on either if they're going to enter free agency or pick up their option. But we are now in the off-season mode, and there's already been a couple moves out there, including a couple managerial positions that have been um, taken now. But um, what's the biggest thing you're looking forward to this off-season? Like
Oh,
a specific player signing, because I'm looking forward to. I'm fascinated to see what happens with Kyle Tucker here. To me, I'm fascinated with that. But that's mine. What's the biggest thing you're looking forward to this offseason?
player wise, it's definitely Kyle Tucker. He's the hot name out there. I'll say player wise, yeah, Kyle Tucker. I'm interested to see what happens with Cody Bellinger. He put together a good year with the Yankees. He's primed for probably a decent payday. Um, we'll see what happens there. And then today there was some news that kind of surprised a little bit of people was Shoto Imanaga. That that really did surprise me. That was something that I didn't have on my bingo card. That was a 3-year option that the Cubs declined. So he wasn't set to become a free agent for quite some time, but here we are. I mean, he had a bit of a down year last year, and after a phenomenal rookie season, I still think this guy. I mean, he's definitely shifted himself into the top of the free agency class this offseason. So we'll see what happens with him. Um, as far as my Yankees go, I'll say Brian Cashman had a comment today about how he wants to add some contact hitters to this lineup, which is what we have been asking for year after year after year. So I'm excited to see where that goes with my Yankees. But
Harrison Bader.
imagine, I'm looking at you, Stephen Kwan. Um, but other than that, I mean, obviously the World Baseball Classic, we have that under wraps. That's all taken care of now. We're just kind of waiting for the day.
Japanese
Super,
in five. That's what I have to say about that.
I'm super stoked for the World Baseball Classic this season. Aaron Judge, Team USA captain. Can't wait to see that.
Keep them in
But yeah,
bubble
man,
wrap all off season.
no shit, man. Seriously. And during that World Baseball Classic too, because I'll tell you one
That
thing,
too. Yeah,
God forbid anything happen, I'm gonna knock on wood. My desk is wood, so I'm
I'll
gonna
do
say
that
that.
too.
Yes. He's gonna be wrapped up in bubble wrap because if anything happens there, you can kiss the next season goodbye for the Yankees. But no, man. I I gotta say Kyle Tucker. I mean, I'm trying to be like a little bit original here, but Kyle Tucker. I mean, he didn't necessarily have the greatest year with the Cubs, um, but we'll definitely see where that goes. A few years ago, this guy was talked about of $500 million contract. I don't know if that's what he'll get. I'm sure there's going to be some high bidders for him, but it's very interesting with him because there's no like in recent years, like you could pinpoint one specific team to a player, a free agent. This year you can't. You really can't, and I think that's going to be interesting going into the offseason.
Yeah, in terms of my team, I'm very interested to see what the Dodgers, what kind of happens with this outfield, because to me there's some question marks going into this offseason. Teoscar got a year older, had some issues in right field. Now they were able to get away with it because Teoscar hit some big home runs in the postseason, and you did not see Teoscar in those late inning games. It was not. It was, Andy Pajes. Your outfield was Andy Pajes, Kike Hernandez, and Justin Dean, who made his debut with the Dodgers in August. So you did not see Teoscar out there. Alex Call, they traded for him. I would be interested to see if the Dodgers maybe bring him back and give him a full off season to kind of work on some things, and maybe he'll have a bounce back year next year. And Andy Pajes, he had a bad postseason. He had some great moments. Don't get me wrong. He made a big catch in Game 7, and he put the ball in play against the Phillies that led to the O'Kirk error or throwing mistake. So, yeah, to me, I'm interested to see what happens with this outfield and also this bullpen. Like this bullpen was projected to be a lot better than it was this year. They gave big money to Tanner Scott. He's not getting traded. They're not just gonna dump him. Like he's gonna be on the team next year, and he should be. The Dodgers should give him another chance to see if he can find his old form again from 2024. But yeah, this bullpen is what I'm really wondering about, how they're gonna refix it. And in terms of the other side, I'm interested to see what the Blue Jays do. You know, are they going to re-sign Bo Bichette? Because obviously now he's unrestricted. Um, and how aggressive is this Toronto side going to be? Because we're going to find out very quickly how much this front office believed that 2025 was a once in a million type of deal, or it's
Yeah.
something that they can sustain for years here. Because you're truly not going to know until you start playing the games next season in 2026. But we're gonna certainly find out how this front office feels about this team very quickly with Bo Bichette. I know Bassett, Scherzer are free agents. We'll see what happens with them. Um, so I'm very interested to see what happens with this Blue Jays team because it's you kind of have to be careful a little bit because you don't want to just fall in love and like, all right, we'll just run it back again next year. Like that's how you can get yourself into trouble,
Hmm.
And but it also sucks because you have a whole fan base, a whole country in Toronto that, you know, just went to the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. They were 90 feet away from winning the whole damn thing. And I don't think it's going to be taken too well in Toronto if the Blue Jays front office just sits on their hands and do nothing. Let Bo Bichette walk. Let some, not be in the mix for some of the big key free agents because you've seen that they're willing to spend the big bucks. They tried to
Hmm.
get Otani. Obviously, they locked down Vladdy before this season started. So I'm just very interested to see what happens with this Toronto side because, you know, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how this front office feels about this team or about this
Yeah.
season.
No, absolutely. Because I mean, you also have to remember that this Blue Jays team was not projected to be
Yep.
very good 2025. Obviously everybody had the Yankees winning the division. That did not happen, and then the Blue Jays just absolutely took off. They got hot at the right time, and that's where baseball's a little interesting, because you really don't know. I mean, how many people could have projected that Ernie Clement was going to have record-setting postseason? It just you don't project those type of things, and it is very interesting with the Blue Jays. Now, I'll say this too. I'll kind of double down a little bit. I want not as a Yankee fan. I'm talking to as a baseball fan. I want the Blue Jays to try to go after Kyle Tucker because I think Kyle Tucker in this Blue Jays lineup would be a hell of an addition. But I'll also piggyback off of that and say the same thing about the Seattle Mariners. This Seattle Mariners team was one win away from reaching the World Series. And we have been the Mariners have been a topic of our conversations in the offseason over the last couple of years on this podcast. We've been bitching at them year after year to try to spend some money and put it into the team and make the noise that we think that they can. You're coming off an historic season from Cal Raleigh. You're like I said, one win away from the World Series, your first in franchise history. That's also another case where you have a fan base behind you and they're really looking at you of what to do. A guy like Bo Bichette, a guy like Kyle Tucker, I think those type of guys can really elevate this team. So I think I'm looking at the Mariners too, and kind of what's going on there. You have Shota Imanaga on the block now, so that's also another piece that you could go. I am very interested to see where these two teams go. Um, yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, I kind of can say the same thing about a bunch of teams in the postseason. The Phillies, what's going on there? We talked about that at the end of this regular season with Kyle Schwarber, and there was talks
Harper
about
to the Bronx.
dude. Yeah, oh my God, don't okay, don't open this can of worms, because we'll take him with open arms because that should have happened a few years ago. But I digress. The Phillies, like, where do they go from here? Where do the Brewers go from here? It is interesting. It's going to be a very interesting offseason, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am. This offseason in particular has me on the edge of my seat a little bit. Obviously the clear cut favorite going into next year is the Dodgers. There's no doubt about that. But since we are in the offseason now, we can start projecting the next season. There's some teams up there that if they make the right moves, they can compete with the Dodgers. And that's what we've been talking about, and that's why the Dodgers aren't ruining baseball. But that, again, it's a conversation for another time. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where a few of these teams go and some of these free agents, man, because we haven't even talked about Kyle Schwarber. That guy can, I mean, he slides into DH in any of these teams and he can be a difference maker. Teoscar Hernandez, if he's on the trade block, that guy has a hell of a bat. Okay, yeah, the field might be a little iffy, but Teoscar Hernandez bat still plays well with anybody else in the league, in my opinion. I'm very high on Teoscar Hernandez, and I think he's a little bit underrated. But if he's on the trade block, that is a perfect opportunity for another team to swoop in and grab him. Um, so there's just so many so many conversations we're gonna have this off season, and I'm totally looking forward to it. I'm very excited for this off season, as you can tell, and it'll be capped off with the World Baseball Classic. So I think we have a pretty damn good off season ahead of us.
Absolutely, and two quick things, and I think we'll get out of here and call it a day. Two other things to look forward to look out for this off season: the contracts. And
Yeah,
I say that because there's a labor stoppage that is expected to come after next season. Let's see
which
what these contracts look like going into next season.
I will say this, and not to cut you off. I would like to have a few conversations regarding the CBA this off season, just because it is such a it's we have one more season to go, right? I really want people to understand that we have one more season to go before baseball could change for good. I don't think people understand the magnitude of what's going on with this next CBA and what that's going to look like. So I would like to have some conversations about that and something that you and I are going to talk about. But that's unfortunately, with the Dodgers winning, again, I'm not meaning that in a bad way, but with the Dodgers winning, that creates, I mean, that's just doubling down on what everybody's saying. So It is going to be a very, very interesting topic of conversation for sure. This is the last off season that we have that's not like changed baseball completely. So yeah, no, I think that's a great point. These contracts are going to have to be something you look out for.
And lastly, and I didn't mention it from the beginning because I don't. Well, it can. It's probably gonna happen. Does
Hmm.
Tarek Skubal get traded this offseason?
Man, I hope so.
I hope so. I'll take him. I know
Absolutely.
that would be horrible. I know that a lot of people are not gonna like that one, but
Yeah, then
y-
we're really gonna have to talk about what I just said.
yeah. You want us to trade? You want us to trade for? How about this, baseball fans? I'll give you a proposition here. Do you want us to trade for Tarek Skubal this offseason, or do you want us to pay Paul Skeens in a couple years? Which one do you want?
And listen to me right now, okay? The reason that we're even having this conversation is ridiculous.
Yep.
That is what is ruining baseball.
Yep.
Okay, Tarek Skubal, a guy who is the ace of the rotation, arguably the best pitcher in baseball. Now, obviously, Paul Skeens, whatever, but arguably the best pitcher in baseball is
Yep.
talking about getting traded after their team just made it in the postseason. Back to back years, by the way. There is no room for that. None. And Paul Skeens, the fact that like I see it on Yankees Twitter all the time. Oh, we'll just pay him in a few years. Let's not trade for him now. Let's just pay him a fuck ton of money in a few years. Well, the Dodgers are saying the same thing. That's the problem with baseball. That's what's ruining the sport. There's no room for Tarek Skubal to be traded this offseason. And did you see the report of what the Tigers offered him?
Yep.
It was a bag of peanuts. I think it was just under 200 million. What kind of joke is that? I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way nowadays, and and that's where owners need to step up, in my opinion. But anyway, yes, Tarek Skubal. It is going to be interesting to see what happens with him.
Yeah, and then look, and we're gonna find out by probably the winter meetings next month if this is for real or not with Tarek Skubal,
Hmm.
because I don't think Tarek is gonna want to drag this into spring training.
Yeah, no,
So it's gonna have to be like in the next 2 months, or really
yep,
from now until January. Something has to happen. Otherwise, I don't think he wants to drag this into spring training, or just automatically like, all right, you're getting traded now. Oh, by
yeah,
it's March 15th or March 10th or whatever it is. But
and I don't blame him, man. I mean, if I mean, Tarek Skubal should not be getting traded. I'm sorry, there's no world where this where he should be getting traded. None.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you know, and then people are like, oh, well, okay, well, if there was a salary cap, then this wouldn't be a problem. Yes, it would. Yes, it would, because then you really can't afford to keep these people.
Exactly. No, absolutely, and that's why a salary floor, in my opinion, should be put in. But that's going to be conversations that we are going to get into at some point, whether it's this off season. This is going to be probably, I'm just giving you guys foreshadow right now. This is probably going to be all we talk about next off season, if I'm being 100% honest with you. This is what this is unfortunately going to get to. So we're just priming you guys a little bit. But hopefully that's not the case. And hopefully we can just, figure this thing out quick. But um, unless you have any closing thoughts, man, it's pretty much it for the off season. It's kind of like a little preview of what we're gonna do, and I want to close with this. I just want to say this. Um, this season has been phenomenal, and it's all thanks to you guys. Truly, we could not do this without you guys. There were some big milestones for ATD this season. We reached over 20 million views in a month. That is ridiculous, and we thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Um, and going forward, we wish the best luck to Mikey. He is no longer with us. He is with ATD. Let me clarify that.
Yeah, whoa,
Uh,
I'm like, what the
yeah,
hell?
he is no longer with Around the Diamond. Just like in the past when we've had to do this, we wish them absolutely nothing but the best. And Melo and I will be your ugly mugs that you see everywhere, and that's just how it is. So yes, we wish him the best of luck, and thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely, you were gonna make me look like a bigger piece of shit. It's like I just did an hour here, freaking Dodgers parade Dodgers, propaganda here, and then you had the audience believe that Mikey was a dead man. It's like,
I know that's my bad.
it's
That's my
like we
bad.
should have started with that. You freaking piece of shit.
No, he is no longer with Around the Diamond.
No,
Let me
yeah,
clarify that.
yeah, absolutely. Nothing but the best for him. I mentioned this in the text there, but I'll mention it on here too. Mikey came on at a time when we really needed the help. And we
It was tough.
really,
Yeah,
when we really needed the extra, the
yeah.
extra hand in there, the extra two hands, in there. So always appreciated the Mikey, and yeah, I wish him nothing but the best. And yeah, thanks to our followers again, man, surviving us for another year. There's this particular jack off that I want to call out in the comments section. He did not like the fact that we all picked the Blue Jays in the World Series, and after the Blue Jays blew out my team in Game One, um, he said that only three more wins before I unfollow this page, all for not picking his fucking team. Hope you stood
And you know
around.
what? And you know what I have to say to that? Thank you. I
Yeah,
we
thank you,
we love you just as much.
thank you. Yeah. Um, Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Chew, or Blue Cheese. It doesn't matter. Dodgers in seven. Damn it. There we go.
That's a that's a hell of a trio if you do all three at once.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. 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 I wouldn't know. I don't need that stuff. I don't need the enhancements. I don't need that stuff.
No, although blue cheese is pretty damn good, I'll say that.
I've never had blue cheese in my life.
You gotta try it, man. It is pretty good. Blue Chew I've never tried, but I think I would take that over Blue Jays. I'll say that.
Oh man. Blue Chew, if you're
Crazy.
listening, we'll gladly take a sponsorship.
We would have fun with those videos. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. I'll give a live demo too. No, I'm just kidding. No, no. Not doing that. No. No. I'll keep that to the imagination. I think it's time to get out of here. If we're talking about that stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thank you guys for 2025 that we will never forget. And we hope you stick around. There's plenty of good things coming up. We're super excited for this off season. Melo, enjoy your second off season in a row as a World Series champion. And yeah,
I
man,
got
I think
three, damn it. I got three. I'm like Mookie. I gotta fill this hand up.
yeah, I got one when I was a kid. So let's go Yankees next year. Here we go. Now we're back to the off season. I can start
Let's go
spewing my Yankees
Yankees.
bullshit again.
I saw Garrett Cole. He looked good in a
He did
workout
look
throw.
good. I'm excited for that. He's growing that beard back too.
Yeah, I'm glad he was the one person I'm glad he shouldn't have to. He should have never had to go through the Yankees policy.
I I agree, man. Because listen, Garrett Cole with a beard was another fucking animal. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, no, excited for him to come back. Hopefully he'll be ready for opening day. But yeah, man, what a year. Extremely excited for the off season and the WBC, and you know, we'll be around.
Yeah, the countdown to the WBC is on, starting now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to Houston.
We
We'll be
are.
there. This city rat is going to Texas. Cuz that's what I am. I'm not a country boy. I'm a city rat.
Going to the Lone Star State.
Yeah, and I've said this 1,000 times to people. If I had to pick between the middle of the desert or Gotham City, I'm taking Gotham City all day cuz I'm a city rat. That's right.
Understandable, man. I get it.
Yes. I need
And that's
I need chaos and I need action.
and I
So,
I really hope that this trip helps our view on Minute Maid. I'm sorry, I'm not calling it Dakin. It's fucking Minute Maid ballpark. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I really hope it kind of switches my opinion because it's a beautiful stadium from what I've seen, but I have some terrible memories in that stadium, and
Same here,
I
and
just
this championship helped a lot with that. I'm gonna be honest with you, especially beating that cheating Springer in this
yeah.
series and dead arm. Even though Scherzer was not on the Astros, beating the dead arm Scherzer, and but specifically beating George Springer.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, that was the first person I thought of when Miguel Rojas hit that home run. I'm like, I hope Springer was watching that from the fucking dugout.
Oh, absolutely. I was very excited that the Blue Jays lost that series. I'll put it there. I won't get into my actual thoughts, but yeah, no, I'll save you.
It's
I'll
all on the
save you the
text. It's all
I
on the
think.
text thread. No, just kidding.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for episode 152. The off season is here; it's in full effect, and we'll really begin to get into the off season beginning next week.
Absolutely.
And more Dodger talk because this is where this is not going anywhere anytime soon. So, uh, all right, well,
Absolutely.
all right, well, I'll see all you losers next week. I'll
We
see
love
all
you
you.
guys. Get that. We
I'll see
absolutely
you.
love you.
I will see you losers next week. How about that one? How about that one? Oh,
Crazy.
I'll see you guys next week. Adios.